Hello everyone, welcome to today's Christmassy do-it-yourself tutorial. Today's Christmas present idea is a chalkboard with a fancy frame and with two cups for chalk and for the little sponge that you would use in order to clean the board. Such chalkboard can be used in your house for either writing short messages, notes, or for example shopping lists. First, let's have a look on the materials that I have used for the board itself. I bought just a simple picture frame. I took the glass part of it and we are going to use only the frame and the carton that is behind the glass. We will need something to be able to hang the cups on, and for that I bought little hooks. First I marked the desired position on the frame. Then I removed the foil on the back of the hooks and then I simply pushed them on the frame. At this point you need to decide whether you like your frame as it is or whether you want to decorate it. I'm going to show you how I decorated this one. So first I took a regular pencil and painted several ornaments around the frame. Then I took my hot glue gun and copied the ornaments with the hot glue. I painted outlines of different leaves on a simple brown wrapping paper, and then I cut out the leaves with simple paper scissors. And in order to make the leaves to look a little bit more real, I kind of crunched them together. Once I was done with the leaves, I found the perfect position on the frame that I liked and glued the leaves on with the hot glue. On smoother surfaces you would need a little bit stronger glue, otherwise the leaves might fall off. As a little extra, I added several pearls on the leaves and glued them on also with the hot glue. I spray painted the frame first from the back side on the parts where the leaves are, so that they are also painted from the back. Then I turned the frame to the nice side and painted it from the front completely. You could always also spray the paint on the frame only with the ornaments first, spray paint the leaves from both sides and then glue them on later. For the carton part I used a chalkboard paint. I chose green color because this is one of my favorite colors, but you can also buy it in black shade or red and blue, and I think there are several different other shades as well on the market. First I painted one thick layer with a regular brush. It is always easier if you have a little bit wider brush than I used for the first time. This chalkboard paint needs to dry 4 hours first before you start applying the second thick layer. According to the instructions, I'm supposed to wait 72 hours before I start painting with the chalk on the board. The cups I used are regular plastic cups. You can use any plastic cups that you have at home. I painted them with the copper spray paint. Then I needed a super glue for the chain. Then obviously a chain. I have chosen one in golden color, and pliers. First I found the spot where I want my chain to be around the cup and measured the circumference and then opened the last link. And then I connected it with the end of the chain immediately and closed it with the pliers. I pulled the chain over the cup just to make sure that I have really the right length. I measured a second part of the chain. That is going to be the part that we will use for hanging the cups on the chalkboard. I connected then the chain to the other part of chain, and the next step was to spray paint the cups with the same copper paint I used for the frame. Once the spray paint was completely dry, I pulled the chains over the cups and glued them on several places with super glue so that they will stay in place. As a last step, I positioned the hook for hanging our board onto the carton part, and then I put the board into the frame, and that was pretty much it. Now let's have a look at all of the details on our chalkboard. I put just simple white chalks into the cup, and this is a sponge that you would normally use for washing your dishes. I just cut it back a little bit so that it would fit into the cup. Before you wrap your present, you may always write Merry Christmas on it first. The chalkboard can be easily cleaned with wet or dry sponge. I upcycled the same way our old whiteboard that had already stains because some messages were there too long and we couldn't clean it anymore properly. So first of all, I roughed the surface with a little bit of sandpaper, and then I added a layer of modeling paste. Once the modeling paste was dry, I smoothened the surface with more sandpaper, and then I also made sure that I have everywhere a tape around the frame before I started painting with the chalkboard paint. Exactly the same way as I done it with the first board, I first painted one thick layer, waited 4 hours until it was completely dry, and then I added a second layer of the chalkboard paint. I even decorated the frame in the same way with some ornaments. The only difference was I had to use a little bit stronger glue for the leaves because they wouldn't hold on the metal surface. Before I started painting the frame, I had to cover the chalkboard part with some plastic and tape. First, I made sure that the leaves were also painted from the back, and then I turned the board to the good side and painted it also from the front. I added a piece on the bottom part on the board that has been used previously for the markers, and I also painted it with the copper paint. I decided also to put on one of the hooks that was still left from the first chalkboard, and I also painted it in copper, and this is where I will later hang a cup with chalks. And that was the result. That was our previous stained whiteboard, and now it is fancy chalkboard. After everything was perfectly dry, I put it back to our hole. This is where it is. We are writing messages or notes or a shopping list on it, and this is how it looks now. This board was already magnetic, but if you use the picture frame like we've done at the beginning of the video, you can always use on the back of the board magnetic paint, and then you would be also able to use magnets on your new chalkboard. So this was today's Christmas present idea. I hope you liked the tutorial. If yes, don't forget to leave a comment or a thumb up. As usual, you will find a link to my playlist with more do-it-yourself videos in the info below this video, and there are also links to my webpage, to my Instagram page and Facebook page. Welcome to anyone who is for the first time here. I would be very happy if you returned, and if you want to, you can also subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys so much and have a great day. See you next time. Bye!